This is my indoor dove setup. These are my Fantail doves. I have a male and a female, and they're just sitting up there on the perch. These used to be cockatiel cages, so there are still a couple of cockatiel toys in the cage. I removed most of them and left just a couple in, more for decoration because doves don't really play with them. And I added, as you can see, they're sitting on a bit of a shelf. This was just a piece of wire framing that I had given to me. It was part of a guinea pig run, actually, but as you can see, there it is. There were several of them that you joined together to make a little hexagonal place to run your guinea pigs on the grass outside. I didn't use them for that because they're not very tall and they don't have a lid, so the cats would have been able to get to them. So I've used them as a shelf, which goes in like that. And I've put 3 of those in here. So my doves have, in the corner there, is a dog food bowl, a plastic one that I've wired in place so it doesn't move. And I've put in some coconut shavings and a few of their feathers. And there is actually an egg in there. I don't know if you can see the egg because it's hidden in there. They have a little piece of dandelion that I picked for them to pick at, a nice tonic bell for them to scratch at. Over here's a cuttlefish. I did read on the internet that they might go for cuttlefish. These guys haven't really touched it yet, but it's there if they want it. And in the top here I've got a couple of food containers. Down the bottom I have their water and a big bowl for them to have a bird bath in because they like to do that. So my doves have gone down to the earthenware water bowl that I put in there for them to have a bit of a bath in, and it looks like the female one is still in there. She's been having a bit of a splash around, made the newspaper all wet, so I'll have to clean that out and get that cleaned up because they've thrown seed all over the place as well. She's just sitting in the bowl, so she might be feeling a little warm and just like the coolness of the water, but she's very much enjoying her bird bath, giving her feathers a bit of a preen. Yep, there she goes. You having a bath? You having a bath, Flutters? She's even picking up the water in her beak and cleaning herself with it, which is very interesting. And her mate is behind her, watching over her. You don't have any water though, boy. You're just copying her, but you don't have any water because there's only enough room for one. You're getting a bit of nice sunshine. I should open the door so you get some direct sunshine. It's nice that with they're near the sliding glass door, I can open it up and they can have unfiltered sunlight, which is really nice for them because it helps with their vitamin D metabolism. Good birdies. There you go, some actual sunlight. Get some nice sunlight. And my dogs can go out and have a bit of an explore out there. You like the sun too, don't you, dogs? She's still having a bath. She's taken a nice long one. Typical girl. What I did with this setup is I actually connected 2 cages together to make it extra wide. So this cage used to end here And this cage used to be end here. So this was, I'll just remove the curtain. That one was a tall up and down one that ended there. So it was sort of just more of a cockatiel cage because they can fly up and down. This one was wider, but I still wanted to have more room. So what I did is I opened the side of this one and folded it back, and opened the side of this one and folded it forward, and then just added some cage floor wire on the roof, so that it just made an extra long, extra wide cage. I removed all the wire from the floor because I don't think it's good for them to stand on wire. And the middle section, obviously, you know, there was a tray for each of the original cages, but the middle section obviously didn't have a tray. So I actually made this out of an old pizza box. That's what it is. It's an old pizza box. And I covered it underneath the newspaper with some shelf lining paper, like contact paper. And there's my dog with a very dirty nose because she's been digging in the garden. So the shelf lining paper helped make the pizza box just a little bit more, you know, waterproof or easy to clean. But when it gets all yucky, I can always just buy another large size pizza and make another one. And it's got a seed catching front on it. You can see I've got a low shelf, another higher shelf with a nest and just a few greens to pick at. I had that shelf originally higher still, but I found the doves didn't want to go up there because they looked like they were just looking up at it thinking, am I going to hit my head on the roof if I fly up there? As soon as I lowered it, they started going on it. So that's something to bear in mind, is that you want to have enough headroom from the top of the cage to the shelf for the doves to feel safe actually getting up onto their shelves and perches that they have. So I'm going to give them a few little treats that I've mixed up for them. So in here I have some torn up spinach leaves, some canned corn that they can nibble at. There's a few strawberries in there, and there's some chopped up banana to see if they want to have a bit of a nibble at the fruit. I'll see if they are interested. I'll get the cage open with one hand. Oh, hello guys, you've come down already, have you? You've come down already? Oh, settle down, settle down. There. Oh, there. Carrying on. Okay, so male and females. The one with the tail up is the female. Females tend to walk around with their tail up. The female showing off to the male, saying, I'm a female and I can be bred, so my tail is up. The boy's tail is down. He's having a bit of a nibble at the seeds there I've just put in for them. The other thing about the boy is he's the one that does all the cooing and flirting and carrying on. So when you hear all that cooing, that is him. He has, okay, let me get a side view of them. He has the bigger chest and neck than the female. And you can usually tell the males because they're making most of the noise and they're strutting around and showing off. Whereas the females are just standing there saying, oh, men, such show-offs. He's listening to me. He's got his head up listening. Hello, boy. They're more interested in the seed than they are at the fruit at the moment. So I use newspaper on the floor because it's easy to clean up. Usually have to clean it up every couple of days because they do a lot of mess. So the girl's name is Fluttershy. Yes, she's named after a My Little Pony. And the boy's name is Soren, also named after a My Little Pony, who were both Pegasuses in My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. So now, see, here's... Oh no, that's still the girl with her tail up. So they weren't flying up there when it was too high up. And now they feel safe to go up there without bumping their heads. There you go, girl. And he prefers to stand on the shelf than perch, which is quite common for doves and pigeons to prefer a shelf. Flutters. That's just me, not them. So they've got a decent distance to fly back and forth in this cage, and the bigger the better. I put the curtain over one side because if there's cats coming around, or if they just want to hide, or they want to feel private, then they've got one section that's private as a hiding hole, and another section that's more well lit. They are near a window, but if it gets too hot or the sun's coming through too intensely, I can actually close the curtain there or drape the curtain over that side of their cage. And of course they've got the other side that's cooler that they can move to. It's also under a porch, so that shades a lot of the sun. So it doesn't really, we don't get a lot of intense sunlight through that window. You've got to be careful putting any animals close to a window because it can heat up quite intensely. And doves will share the job of sitting on the nest, so just because a dove is sitting on a nest doesn't necessarily mean it's the female, because the male will actually give the female a break and sit on the nest as well. So we've got a female over that way and the male is over that way. I've moved the bigger nest over here onto this side, where they have an egg in it, and it's up there with a shelf, because this side has the curtains that come around, and it just gives them a little bit of more privacy, so they're more likely to nest on that one, I think. And take it up to her. Good job.